Alright, so today we're going to talk about constancies in PHP. I think last time we did talk about the variables, so now we're going to look at constancies. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just to go and open the HTML, our working folder, which is in my Apache 2.4 htdocs. I think it was basics. Alright, so last time we did talk about variables. I just want to close this. Alright, now today we'll look at the constants because it's something that we're gonna use along the way. Alright, basically what is a constant in PHP? It's an identifier. A constant is a name or an identifier for a fixed value, so meaning that value does not vary. Remember, we said variables, you can always change the variables. Like if we go back to this example, I showed you that here I can have this variable called message, right? And I can always go back and change it. You see, change the value of that variable. So a constant is fixed. That value does not change. So they are not like variables, except that once they are defined, they cannot be undefined or changed. All right, except if we're talking about magic constants. Okay, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later on. But now they are very useful for storing data that doesn't change while the script is running. So for example, maybe configuration settings like database usernames and passwords, like when we're doing a database connection to MySQL database. So you can use a constant there. Maybe the website URL, company name, and all of those things. All right, now constants are defined using the PHP define function. So there's what we call a define function. So basically that function, it accepts about two arguments. So the name of the constants, right, and the value. So once the defined constant value can be accessed anytime just by referring to the name. All right, so if we make an example, so I'm going to just quickly create a new file here, and then I'm going to call it constant.php. all right, so I'm going to have my PHP structure there, and so to define a constant, or to create a constant, you can always use a define function. So we can use a define function. So it takes two variables. All right, so it takes two variables. Hold on, I think I might not be sharing the screen, so let's go ahead and share that. All right, so that's much better. All right, so it takes about two arguments. So the first one is going to be the name of that. So I can say maybe here is the DB, okay, and the second argument, of course, is going to be the value of the DB. So maybe I say here is local host, okay, so maybe I say this is local host, okay. All right, so now I can just echo that constants by, or print out the constants by saying you are using and then I'm going to concatenate that. So by the way, a period in in PHP is to concatenate, okay? And I can say you are using what? DB. All right. So DB is going to return localhost, and I can concatenate with, maybe I can say as, or say something like for your database, okay, or as your database, for your database. Okay, I must just remove that that closure there. All right. So a period means is to concatenate. So if we check this, so of course I will need to go to, I don't know if there's like an easy way of, so I'll have to go localhost and then slash basics. All right. I'm just gonna go there, and I've got constant. So now it returns what? Localhost. And where is that getting from? It's getting from that constant there, okay, the constant db. All right, I just need to make a space here. All right, so if we go back and check it, we just press F5, then you can see you are using localhost for your database. All right. We know that the echo, the PHP echo, like I explained before, statement is used to display or output data to your web browser. Okay. Now, how about naming conversions for your PHP constants? And the name of the constants must follow the same rules as the variable names, which means in order for a constant to be valid, so the name must start with a letter or underscore followed by any number of letters. Okay, so also numbers and underscores with one exception. All right, so the dollar prefix is not required for the constant name, for the constant name. Okay, so if you think about variables, we have to define a variable starting with a dollar. Okay, so that is not really required for a constant. By the way, I just want to change this to constant. I think I've got like a spelling mistake there of a constant. All right, so that is what a constant is. So the value is gonna be it's not gonna be changed. All right, so that value there is fixed. Okay, now let's talk about let's quickly talk about the echo, the difference between the echo and the print statement. All right, so we've got echo here. So the echo can output, it's actually there to output one or more strings. Just in general, the echo statement can display anything that can be displayed to the browser. So meaning, like, if you have a string or a number or a variable's values, the results of the expressions, you can use echo. All right, so since echo is actually a construct, it's a construct, you can use it without parentheses. All right, like here we can use it without parentheses, but you can also use it with parentheses. So I can say echo and something like welcome. All right, so I can use it with parentheses like that. So it's still gonna print out that welcome message. So if we quickly go back there and we refresh, let's hit refresh. Oh yeah, remember I changed the name, so I must just edit that, and we can see that welcome here. So you know, we can always echo the HTML elements like the BR, basically for the line break or something like that. so that it doesn't, type in the same line. So if we go and refresh, then you'll see this is going to go to the next line. So there we go. And then we've got welcome there. All right. So, but the thing is, if you want to pass more than one parameter to an echo, and then you have your parentheses must not be enclosed. All right. So meaning you can't really use parentheses if you want to pass more than one more than one parameter. Okay, so you can always display the HTML code like I showed you here. We can echo the HTML code, which is like a line break, right? So let's echo another line break here. So I can echo another line break. Actually, yeah, so we can echo, maybe I want to echo h1, and I can say hello everyone, and we can just close it h1 just like we normally would on the normal HTML. All right, so we can always echo the HTML as well. I mean the HTML elements as well. So if we go and check here and just hit refresh, and then we can see this is actually on the HTML. All right, it is on the h1 rather, heading 1. So we can always inspect that just to check it, and then you'll see that this has echoed that h1 element here. You see, so we can always print out we can even add a style here. You know that basically I can say I can add a class, but we need the HTML body, so I can add like an inline style, and something like I can say style is and then, so notice if you use like a single quote here, then you must use double quote. You can't use them both. All right, so I can say color, maybe color is blue, or let's go with a strange color like pink. All right, so if we go back here and sort of refresh, and then we can see that this is pink. So you can do more, and you can add more style. You can add classes as well. All right. Okay, so also if you want to display a variable with echo, for instance, I'm going to echo maybe a BR here, because I just wanted line break. Okay, so suppose I want to display like a variable, so I will say maybe I've got street, and I will just store an address, maybe 41 Barnes Street. All right, and maybe I want to echo a variable, so I can always say echo, maybe I say echo my street is, and then I can concatenate using a period, remember, and with street, which is that variable here. And if we look at that, if we just refresh there, then we can see my street is 41 Barnes Street. For some strange reason, it's still printing on this H1. I don't know why. All right, I'm not sure. Anyway, it's still printing on that one, and then it's also taking that style. Maybe it's because let's have a look. If we go and inspect, then you'll see that it's also taking that style. Oh yeah, so that's what it did. So it just put a break here, hello everyone, and then just continue from there. All right, but anyway, this does not really matter that much. All right, so another way of printing your HTML statement, um, your PHP statements, you can also use a print. So this is an alternative to the echo. So this is just to display and upload also to the browser. But like echo, the print is also a language and it's a construct. It's not really a real function, so you can use it without parentheses. All right, so you can use it with print or with parentheses as well. So, but both echo and print works exactly the same way, except that print statement can only output one string, and it always returns one. All right. So this is why the echo statement is considered magically faster than the print, since it doesn't return any value. So maybe I can use so I'm just gonna echo the BR line here. All right, and I just want to go and close this, and now I can use print, and maybe I print today is cold and rainy. All right, so you see it works the same way. So if we go and sort of view that, let's just close this and reload, and then we can see the print statement. So it works the same, except that echo is considered faster. Okay, so you can also display your HTML page, your HTML elements through the print. Okay, so that is the difference between the print and the echo. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about data types. Let's go ahead and talk about data types. Before we do that, I feel like this video is too long, so I'm going to stop it, and then we're going to talk about data types.